everyone, this is Sandy Create the Heart, and today I am here to share a way that you could use your scraps. So first off, I'm just going to show you guys a couple cards that I made using the Lemon Brightness and Lemon stamp set from the Not Too Shabby shop. This is available in the shop, and it was part of the subscription box of the month. So I had a lot of fun making those, and those were actually made using the stamp set, and I just fussy cut them out. They weren't too difficult to cut out. And so this is the stamp set right here. It has that Mediterranean kind of vibe. And so the other thing I want to show you guys is the sample card that I made with the technique we're going to use today. So this is a way to use scraps that I learned in the Tailored Expressions Stamp Joy. Now she sells these Tailored Expressions Easy Strips maps. So you can cut your paper with 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch strips, and you can use these different maps. And so the one that she shared with us, she actually didn't have us use those maps. She mapped out using this sort of diagram that I'm going to show you guys in a second. That is the diagram that you would use. So basically you're going to kind of measure out from 2 1/4 on the side, and then down 2 1/4 as well. So that is the guide right there. So you can go ahead and pause that if you want to take a look at that. What you're going to want to make sure to do is use some sort of double-sided kind of paper. A couple companies make them. This one is from Tailored Expressions. And then you're going to go ahead and line up everything that you mapped out. You know, you have to freeze frame it. I will try and do the information for those marks in my description box. That square in the middle is 2 1/8 square, and that fits in there kind of like a diamond. And then you go ahead and you just put your strips one at a time. You start with the one on the bottom right, and then you just go all the way around in order, one at a time, until you have filled all of your you know, sticky mat there. And so that is going to measure 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. It's A2 size, and it's pretty cool. So you just go ahead and you just put your strips all the way around, and it's a really great way to use up scraps, because I'm left with lots and lots of these little strips. And so you just cut these down to 1/2 inch, and they fit all the way around just perfect. And so yeah, to get those dimensions, you're just going to go ahead and just freeze the camera at that page where I showed what they were, and then you can go ahead and write those measurements down, or you can pick up those page map strips sheets from the Tailored Expressions website. And that way it's really easy for you, and you don't have to do any measuring at all. I had to kind of finagle my measurements. But basically that center was 2 1/8 by 2 1/8, and then you kind of put it in kind of like a diamond. Like the points are, you know, pointed up like a diamond. And that way you can just go ahead and you know, you want to center it basically. So you're going to find out what the midpoint center is on the size that you're using, and that's kind of how you determine where to put that. So once I've got all the strips down, then what you're going to do is you're going to have to trim all the excess paper. So you just turn it over and you just start cutting. And then that way, if you are out of strips, you can use the strips you've cut apart to fill in the rest of your A2 size card in the front, because sometimes that happens where you might not have had enough strips. And then you're left with this sort of this hodgepodgeness, which looks a little bit crazy, but trust me, it looks amazing once it's you know, you put your image in there. So I've got a couple ephemera pieces from the Lemon Brightness collection that I'm going to go ahead and use. And I also have a sentiment left over from another project also from this stamp set. So I'm going to use those. I'm going to lay them down. I think I might use a little bit of foam tape. My favorite foam tape is the Altenew foam tape. And I'm going to go ahead and just place my images down where I want them. And that way I'm not only using all of my scraps, but I'm also using the kind of the last pieces I have left of my ephemera. So now it's just a matter of finishing up the project. I think I'm looking for some foam tape. And it's very rewarding to use up all the scraps. So I did make another card after this one, which I did off camera using the rest of the scraps that I have and the last couple pieces of ephemera that I have. And so I will be posting those on my Not Too Shabby Shop Facebook and on my Instagram after this video posts. So if you want to see that card, you can see that little bonus card. And that way I was able to use all of my ephemera, so, and the rest of the scraps that I had sitting on my table. So just trying to figure out which one of these I'm going to go ahead and use. That one is from the stamp set, and then I believe the rest of them are, though, from the ephemera pieces. And just really a great way to use up your scraps. So if you're like me and you really love the colors of a collection, or you really love a collection, it's really hard not to keep every piece. But there you go. There are two cards that I made using